Hello everybody, my name is Deylem Onursal and I am the founder and chief executive officer of CAN Artificial Intelligence Car Technologies. I'm gonna start with giving you a brief summary about the company, how I decided to start it and why I did it so. In 2018, I was driving a Mercedes-Benz. The car was quite fancy. It was strong, it was safe. But one day I tried to test it in terms of how fast it is able to go. In 240 kilometers, the car wouldn't go any faster. But I was wondering why such a powerful car is not doing it. So later on, I went to a maintenance shop and I asked the guys over there the reason behind this, and I got a simple answer: because they were not able to ensure my safety over 240. But I asked myself, why? Why this is not possible after I paid so much for a car? And then I came across the Tesla company, same year. One of my friends bought a car from Tesla in the United States, and when I was visiting him, I just saw the technology in the car, the autonomous driving, the talk-over options through which you can connect with the car and ask for things or basically operate the car. And I was surprised that the car was not available in Turkey. And I also asked myself, okay, these are expensive, luxurious cars, but what about those cars that are not as expensive, yet people who are driving it need safety, needs to basically face the technologies that are already in market, but there is an obstacle, which is the pricing, because these cars are cheap cars, so that offering such an innovation shouldn't be expensive. Hence, I started CAN. The very same year, I invested $10 million into the company to start a research and development phase for the company. My aim was to use artificial intelligence to ensure safety for both the drivers, passengers, the pedestrians around the car, all the other livings like animals, trees, etc. Having an autonomous driving option which can go over 130 kilometers. I'm saying this because most of the cars in the market are now only offering autonomous driving up to 130 kilometers per hour. And in the future, when this technology becomes more popular and more cars implements it, I want to connect cars. By doing it so, my aim is to achieve such things through usage of data. I will talk over them in the next sessions. So, how did we design the product? How did we use artificial intelligence to achieve these things in our first product called CAN-X? In CAN-X, we use sensors for the weather, for the temperature, for the movement, and other stuff. And we used real-time cameras to basically grab the images of the surroundings around the car, and we use a model to create a 3D modeling of all the images that the cameras around the car grabbed, and basically create a scene in which the car drives through. Basically, through these images, we can calculate distance in between the other cars, the other objects, and how the pedestrians or the bikes or the livings come near to the car, or if they need to pass through the road. And at the beginning, our aim was to create a niche product, but then, as I already told at the beginning, I wanted to make this possible for almost every car in the world. So Our aim now is to sell this product to whole companies that manufactures cars, so that we want to do this by offering it at a cheap price. Let me talk about the situation of the can. Let me begin with the external environment. I'm gonna talk about the political, economical, social, and technological aspects of our company. So many governments in developed or developing countries provides a subsidy towards the purchase of an electric car. So Can now aims to target the electric cars more than those that are working on the basis of fossil fuels. Another reason is that electric vehicles are exempted from emission tax, and many governments in developing or developed countries has policies or regulations to increase the number of electric-based or hybrid cars. Hence, we want to target those cars to grab more market share, to make more profit. But this does not mean that we are not going to create a version X2 for the cars that works with fossil fuel. And due to emerging emission value rules, engine designs are changing in the world. And the new designs are more expensive. So more and more companies are now starting research phases to implement electric-based technologies into their cars, which is another reason for us to target the electric cars first. And we have some disadvantages as well. First of all, in such countries like Turkey or Iraq or Russia, lanes has to be renewed for our technology to function fully, because those lanes in the suburbs or in some regions of the cities that does not have clear road signs or paintings on the road is a troublemaker for us. Another disadvantage in terms of political aspect of our company is some people do not know how to use such a technology or what to expect from it. So we have to increase the awareness so that we can market our product in a better way and grab more useful data. In the economical aspect, we designed a company structure that aimed for cheap labor cost. We have software laboring, we have research and development laboring, and we have the manufacturing of the hardware laboring. So our softwares are mainly and mostly designed in India, where the cost is quite cheaper compared to other countries. The research and development phase is located both in Turkey and United States. In United States, we have a small team, but they are basically the core of the research and development. They basically set the policies, the rules, they are basically the experts, and they are acting as the consultants. But our bigger team is located here in Istanbul in Turkey, and they are doing the paperwork, researching phase, and grabbing the report so that the guys in United States can evaluate them, analyze them, and send us feedbacks so that we can improve our technologies. And as you might assume, we are manufacturing our hardwares in China, where the costs are cheaper, and we can basically produce huge amounts of hardware in short time span. We have an economical advantage by using the cheap labor cost function of our company and producing our products for a cheap price. We have a currency advantage because those electric cars that we are aimed at the beginning are more popular in Europe and in United States, and United States use dollars, most of Europe per se use euro. And if you compare dollars to Turkish lira or euros to Turkish lira or to yuan or rupees, we have a currency advantage. Some countries apply high taxes for cars, which is a disadvantage for us because we want, I already mentioned at the beginning, to make this product available for everyone, for every manufacturer. Yet, we create a strategy for this. We want to use this disadvantage to our advantage, turn it into an advantage. So we are offering different models for such manufacturers to reduce the accident rates, to be able to operate maintenance shops that are already built in the cities in a different way. And what I mean by a different way is to know the habits of the drivers, the habits of the models of the cars, based on the years and the models. And by doing it so, to know what to expect in a more efficient way, so that we can reduce many costs, including but not limited to cost of order, cost of holding, etc. In the future, we are aiming to start partnerships with insurance companies, because they are basically calculating risk on perceptions based on assumptions. But we are collecting data every second when a car is on the road. Also, we can collect data on the accidents that might happen while the car is parked. So we have a better way to estimate the risk factors. By doing it so, we can offer tailored prices for each driver, and we can do customization regarding the insurance policies. By the social aspect, as you know, nowadays many people use social media while driving a car or while they are in the car. But this is risky if the driver is using the phone at the same time. Yet, as I already said, thanks to our artificial intelligence technology, the autonomous driving is much more safer than our rivals or competitors. So that when the driver wants to use the social media app or something else through their phones, they can just talk to the car. They can ask if it is a safe road, if there is an estimation made by the artificial intelligence technology that something might occur in the next 300 yards or in the next 3, 4, 5 minutes, etc. The car will respond back to the driver and say, okay, use it for 4 minutes or not. Another aspect is that the driver or the owner of the car has an expectation. Yet for the families, for instance, let's say there is a 4-people family, a father, a mother, and 2 children, a guy and a girl. So each of them has a different expectation from a car. And rather than telling them to buy 4 cars, our technology basically tailors the car for their expectations in terms of acceleration, the sound, the warnings it makes. And by warnings I mean, for instance, if the father wants to be aware of where to buy the gas so that he will not be in a position that he is running out of a gas but there is not a close gas station, or to pull electric into the car in the gas station, since our first product is aimed for electric cars. Yet the son is not focused on this, yet he wants to know where the high density of people are parking in the city at that point, and he wants to get there. So these warnings can be customized for each person, and whenever that person is in the car will recognize their phone as they sit in the driver's seat, and it will customize itself according to the driver. The idea that it is safe to speed in the road and the reducing number we achieved by applying this technology into the cars in terms of accidents is a killer idea. People that like adrenaline, that like to speed in the roads, do this without knowing where to speed and where not to speed. But our technology has implemented a way to tell them. And even if they speed by themselves or in the autonomous mode, the car has warnings that they can speed more or they should not speed as much so that their safety is ensured. We are a pioneer of the sector in terms of car technologies based on artificial intelligence, because we have different views and perspectives that we aimed for electric cars to begin with, that we aimed for all manufacturing lines, whether it's a luxury or not. We are aiming to create our own race, to which we will invite other companies that works on artificial intelligence car technologies, and this will be basically a Formula One of artificial intelligence. And the technology will define the winner, not the driver, not the engine, but the technology, because there will be roads in a different way, which will be almost impossible for a human driver to go through. There will be other ideas that I'm not gonna share due to privacy reasons. But once we do this, and once this is online, the viewers will have an idea of what our technology is, and we wouldn't spend that much of advertisement money to put a TV ad or a commercial per se. If possible by the law, because as you already know, the law for each country is different regarding the cars. In the future, we want to operate the cars from a distant location when needed. What could be the need? The need could be that someone is tired or someone is injured, that they cannot focus on the road, or that someone went out but drunk more than they were intended to. So if this is possible, because as you know, although you would like that people to be aware of what could happen if they drive in such a condition, sometimes they do not. And we take this as a fact and we worked over it. Our technology is now on the testing phase. And as I said at the beginning, if possible, by the regulations and the laws, we want to make such an option. And if we are able to do this, we have other ideas that I'm gonna explain in the next moments that we can benefit from this technology. Last but not the least, there is a technological aspect of our firm. As I already said, Tesla has proven that autonomous cars can be popular and achieve a lot, but they do not have a wide distribution. And Volvo, a Swedish giant of car manufacturing, is known for their safety. Lately, they have a package called City Pack 2, which ensures many safety aspects for the drivers. But Volvo is not cheap, and Volvo is not that popular if you look into their number of sales. For instance, last year they sold 5,000 cars in Turkey, which is not much. But I would like to tell you that thanks to our technology, the technology Volvo and Tesla already implemented in their cars is now going to be available for a Fiat, for a Renault, for a Dacia, etc. AI, artificial intelligence, is a developing industry, and the chatbots, for instance, are estimating what to talk with people. They are acting as like human agents. Now there are devices that can do simultaneous translation. If you think about the simultaneous translation process, the translator starts few seconds after the speakers start and ends few seconds after they do end their conversation. So this proves us that artificial intelligence through chatbots became much more enhanced in terms of estimating. Through this simultaneous translation device, much more enhanced in terms of speed. how fast it can understand something by using natural language processing and process the information, then make an output out of it. So we are going to implement this into our next version's autonomous driving technology, because our current version is only able to go up to 180 kilometers per hour, but we have an aim to basically neglect the speed limit. So whatever the car can go up to in terms of kilometer per hour, we want the driver to be able to just press the button or talk to the car, so that the car will drive itself if the conditions are safe and okay to do it. Another idea we have is that now the talk over option for our technology is implemented into the cars in a way that they can talk with the car to ask for things. Or, by the way, what I mean by asking a thing is that start the AC or take my seat a bit back, etc. But in the future, I would like to add more options or features into this technology. For instance, read me a book, or tell me how the weather would be like when I arrive into Seattle, etc. Or basically, if someone comes in a foreign country, a policeman for instance, and tells something, the car will listen and translates directly to the driver. And when the driver talks to the car, not to the car but to the policeman, in the end the car will be able to grab what the driver says, and it will translate it directly to the policeman. And there will be many other features. As you know, we are based on data. Every technology we implemented into our product can act, works through the data that collect through sensors, real-time cameras, etc. But apart from using it for the betterment of the car, we are also collecting more data of how the drivers are using this technology, how they are driving when they are on the road, etc. And we are using this to develop more products. What could be these products? We are already in the verge of announcing 2 of them, so I'm going to explain them to you. The others, for the safety and privacy reasons, I'm not going to be able to explain, but let me give you hints. Our first product is basically collecting data about the conditions of each neighborhood or city or province, and the accident rates, the weather conditions, the drivers located in that region, and making estimations regarding how many accidents might happen next month. When it rains, what could happen to the cars, etc. We are developing a technology which is on the verge of publishing, and through this technology we are gonna sell a software to maintenance shops so that they can know what to expect, what type of car might come to them next month, so that they will be ready in terms of the parts and the know-how. Another estimation we are planning to do is know if the driver is happy with their car, if the car suits them most, and we will use this data to sell it to the companies, how they can basically make advertisement and to know whom to target. Because if someone is not suitable for that model yet they buy it, they will not be happy with the car. But if the company already knows which model of the brand suits the driver most, they might be able to sell something that will suit the driver more and make him more happy, which will make him a loyal customer to the company. Apart from that, the designs of the cars can be tailored for each region, not maybe for each neighborhood or each city, but for each country. That way, the brands or the manufacturers will be able to develop the same model on the same platform with a different design and applications based on the perceptions and views of each region's people. Hence, they will be able to make more sales thanks to the improved customer satisfaction. Let me talk about our microenvironment. So as I already mentioned, because we want to achieve a good price tag, we are using China for the hardware, India for the software, and we will conduct the application on our research lab located in Turkey. But our company technically is not based in Turkey, but in Estonia. The reason behind this is that we want to have better tax regulations that is applied to us, and when we make sales, that we will not face any political reasons, because Turkey, as you know, is not stable in terms of political aspects during the last couple years. Yet Estonia is a part of the European Union and is a small country, so does not have many problems with its neighbors or other countries around the world. So to be in the safe side, we established the company in Estonia, but our real headquarters are located in Turkey, and we have an office in United States. And we have another aim, because globally there are changes. For instance, nowadays the COVID-19 virus affected the whole world. People are not able to work. Most of the companies' manufacturing lines has already stopped. China was in an economical war with the United States for the last 9-10 months at a really fast pace. But there is a way that we want to overcome all of these possibilities in the future. We started a new research phase for our manufacturing line. We would like to create our own factories so that we will buy the raw material wherever it is the cheapest, and our factory will be based on autonomous machines that will not require that many people to operate them. Hence, we will still apply our cheap price tag policy, yet we can have several factories around the world that will enable us to also lower the distribution of these products, by which I mean the transportation fees. Hence, we may lower our prices while increasing our profits, and we will be in a safer side in terms of the global changes or political obstacles. Our software-based productions, we are happy to work with India at the moment, and if you are not, we can just change it directly, because software is easy to transform as long as you ensure the safety of your product. We can base it anywhere in the world that suits us better, but at this point, we are happy with India, as I say, and we are gonna keep developing our software there as long as things or conditions does not change. And we have idea suppliers. What is an idea supplier? Okay, we have our own research and development team. Okay, we have our own consultancy team, but we are making agreements, we are signing contracts with the universities and private researchers so that they research on artificial intelligence, not for us, but for themselves. Yet, when they have an idea comes to their mind, they send it to us. And if you like it, if you develop a product based on it, or thanks to it, directly or indirectly, we give them a margin from our profit. But, let me give you another thing. We are not focused on using our profit at the moment. We are basically using the generated money in the research and development phases. So we guarantee them a lower amount of a payment if our profit margin does not reach that point, which ensures that they will get the return for their idea and work. And we want to expand this into a wider population in the future. And as I said, our research and development lab is located in Istanbul, Turkey. Let me analyze our competitors. Currently, artificial intelligence industry is evolving, so we do not have that much of competitors, although we expect them to grow in the future. Yet, we have current competitors who are also working in artificial intelligence car technologies. The first one is autonomy. Autonomy is basically navigating in complex traffic situations. And they partnered up with the Lyft, which is a company like Uber that carries passengers. And they are having a now beta session with the Lyft. They are making a test in Boston, United States. Another competitor of us is AutoX. They are basically self-driving grocery company. So they want to use autonomous driving to carry grocery to the people and let them watch it through their phone or tablets or laptops where the car is and how fast it is coming, the estimation of when it will arrive to their doorstep. Drive that artificial intelligence. Their main aim is to create an autonomous and basically communicable, a car that can communicate with them, with the passengers, with the drivers. Optimus Ride. The company Optimus Ride is aiming on driving autonomous car for geofence locations. By the way, geofencing is a location-based service in which app or other functions use Wi-Fi, GPS, RFID, or cellular data to trigger a pre-programmed action. But considering the fact that geofencing is not popular all around the world, we are not at the moment focusing on geofencing. Yet still, there is an artificial intelligence based in the company. I am talking about it. There is Waymo. It's Google's exploration at the beginning. It was actually Google's exploration at the beginning. Now it's a company, and it is using 360-degree model of artificial intelligence to use real-time cameras and grab images and model it to implement autonomous driving and other functions. There is Zoox, and the Zoox is basically designing their car from scratch. They were aiming to or planning to implement their first car this year, but after the COVID-19, I think it's gonna be a bit later. When they do achieve their first car, their aim is to start a company like Lyft and Uber, but without drivers. So the Zoox and autonomy are going to be rivals in the future in terms of passenger carrying. So brand competition, although there are companies, as I mentioned at the moment, is hard to examine or analyze because artificial intelligence being a new industry that emerged, although artificial intelligence was a concept that was available for a while, as you know, it lately emerged thanks to internet penetration becoming more and computers getting faster, software becoming more enhanced. So in terms of brand competition, at the point we will not make any analysis. The product competition is something that I would like to talk over. The one who focuses on wider aspects, not on one or two things, but most of the things that most of the population in a region or globally expect from a car and is going to expect from a car, because as technology develops or evolves, people expectations do the same, will achieve success faster, and by doing it so, will win the product competition. The current market is also hard to analyze since we are at the beginning. All of us, all of the companies, including us, has not achieved that much so that we can make analysis or predictions on the market. But let me say this, it's a profitable market, and I believe in the future the profit margins will become much higher as more manufacturers implement artificial intelligence and more people looks for artificial intelligence in a car. At the moment, people are not aware of the artificial intelligence technologies that much, so that the market size is, although it's a growing market, is still at a low portion. So let me talk about our strengths and weaknesses. The strengths of our rival is that they have more possibility of accessing testing areas or geofenced areas, since all of them are located in the United States. This is their strength and our weakness. They have more know-how because they have more educated people in terms of artificial intelligence area, and they have been into the artificial intelligence field more than Turkey has been, so that this is their strength and our weakness. They have wider population and technology production. This is another strength for our competitors. They have ability to generate more investments because they have private investors, yet Ken is funded by myself and I am the sole investor of the company. But they have weaknesses which are our strengths. The first one is in terms of the currency and tax regulations. When they make a payment to a worker, they pay in dollars, so that this is their weakness. When they pay tax to the government, they pay to the United States government where the regulations are strict and the ratio of the tax are high, which is another weakness for them and a strength for us. We are not focused on virtual tests. We basically implemented at the beginning of our company the sensors, the real-time cameras and everything else, but not the intelligence product since it was not developed yet, but we still gathered data from the drivers. And we started by targeting small portions of the market. We started with targeting a country first, and then another one, and then another one. And for each of the regions that we targeted, we gathered and collected data first to make real-time tests, which became quite a big advantage for us and a strength for us, because we knew what we will possibly face. In the simultaneous translation idea, we faced this because we realized by voice collection we made in the course that people who go to overseas sometimes face a problem, and this margin of them is not that low. Another example is that when we first started collecting data, we realized that apart from the roads, apart from the drivers, the weather condition of the region is an important factor in how the technology will operate. We are targeting developing areas as well, not only developed countries. This is a huge advantage for us because of our price tag. The products that are already being developed in the United States, since they are being sold in US dollars price tag, are expensive for developing areas, but our products are more affordable, which is our another strength. Our last strength compared to our competitors is that we have had testers in Istanbul and in Ankara and Izmir. These are cities that has huge traffic jams, that has so many incidents that happen due to the driving habits of the people, or people not being well educated in terms of how to drive. Hence, we know what we should focus on to overcome these. Let me talk about our agents. Our agents are various. What I mean by various agents. For instance, to those manufacturers like Ford, Fiat, that we sell our product, we use their own shops. So if someone already has a model of Fiat that has our product installed in it, they can use the shop to go to maintenance if some problem occurs. But if someone else, a Fiat owner, has already bought a previous model but wants to implement our technology, of course not quite old models, but those that are sold in the near past are now available to go to the shops and implement it. We did such a model because we want to reach more customers and we want to use word of mouth in a faster way so that people will say, oh, look at this technology, how useful, how beneficial it is, that we will have a good brand image. And the tools we sell are data service because we already started selling through our beta version. We are asking them to promote our service, the CanX product. And by doing it so, we offer them a percentage from our revenue margin, and we want to reach the people so that we don't have to use traditional or conventional ways of advertisement. And there are companies we work with, apart from the manufacturers, car services and distributors. For instance, we work with intelligence agency companies in terms of partnership to use chatbots in our cars, to use other developed artificial intelligence projects. For instance, as I already mentioned in my speech, something that enables to process information on a written document, a book for instance, and read it to the driver. And we promote their services to our customers. We ask them the same, and we have written agreements in this on the terms that I already mentioned here. So the idea is not only to promote our products, but to promote artificial intelligence technology. I am the sole shareholder of the company, but in the future I might think about selling some shares. But first, my aim is to keep all of the shares to myself. First of all, due to the reason that I would like to operate the company with my vision. Secondly, I want to come to a point that where the brand image of the company is high, so that the value of the firm will be more visible to those who want to invest. In terms of internal environment, I set up this company using the functional organizational structure. Why I did so? Because this structure seemed to create more efficiency, more quality, little time spent learning, reduces confusion, and can achieve standardization in a faster and easier way. Also, I applied the Kaizen philosophy into the structure so that everyone working under me as Chief Financial Officer, Chief Research and Development Officer, etc., those working under them will be able to know what we are aiming and what we are planning to do. So I am the Chief Executive Officer, as I said. We have C-level research and development, finance, marketing and manufacturing officers. Under the research and development officer, there is a design manager, development manager, testing manager. Under the finance officer, there is an accounting and purchasing managers. Under the marketing officer, there is the sales, the customer service managers, and finally, under the manufacturing officer, there is the line managers, production team managers, and distribution managers. This is how our company is structured, and I already mentioned what we want to achieve with this structuring. So apart from our structure, we have set up a corporate culture that aims several things. First of all, our culture is focused on teamwork. So everyone in our firm should know to benefit from one another, to help one another, to assist one another. And the success of our firm, our products, and everything else is not thanks to my vision, is not because the managers are so efficient or so educated, but yet as a team we are working as a whole and collaborating, achieving things. I always tell everyone and in the morning to myself that we should communicate. We should communicate in an enhanced and an open way so that we understand each other, we can estimate our weaknesses, we can estimate our strengths, so we know what to do and what not to do. We always focus on creativity because we already implemented an innovative product and we are implementing innovative services, as I mentioned previously. It is significant for us to work with creative people so that in the future, when the artificial intelligence market is developed one, that we have competitors that are basically offering similar products, we have the advantage of innovation. Except the manufacturing department, we do not have working hours, so that everyone can work whenever they want to. Everyone can work through our offices or through their home. Yet, there are moments that we come to the office to have meetings, to have activities, so that we do not lose the teamwork culture of the corporate, the communication aspect installed into our corporate culture. And another thing that we always expect from each other is openness. And everybody should be open to each other in terms of everything. If they are not happy with something, if a manager is not happy about the payment he gets or something else that I do, or I'm not happy about someone who is delivering me tea, without being disrespectful or without being harmful, I always encourage everyone, including myself, to be open to each other. We have a structure in terms of the corporate culture that aims to achieve small company family rapport, so that we are a team, okay, but we are a family as well. If someone has a burden, that we should be there for him or her, that we should compensate for him and her, so that everyone in the firm will know that he or she is a part of a family, which will motivate the workers, which will make them happier, and which will increase their capacity and abilities. The last two things in our corporate culture are excellence, because we always aim to create what we can call as an excellent product or service. And we have a hands-on approach that learning is a continuous process in our firm. Including myself, we all should always learn. Learn what not to do, learn what to do, learn what to focus on, learn what to do in a better way, learn what to aim for, etc. And we should do it in a way that will benefit us for the betterment of our intellectual levels, our management abilities, our thinking capacity, etc. And we have, of course, resources. As an artificial intelligence company, we use enterprise resource planning of our own that benefits from artificial intelligence, so that we can use the resources we have in a wiser and in a more efficient way. What resources we do have? We have financial resources. For instance, the products we sell creates revenue. For instance, the data we collect, we sometimes sell the data, that also creates revenue, etc. We have human resources, those that work with us in the firm. For instance, the officers, like research and development, like marketing, etc. Those who work in our research lab. Myself. The educational resources are basically, we work with universities not only in terms of grabbing their ideas, but also benefiting from the experts in the area of artificial intelligence or car manufacturing, basically automotive sector. So this is our educational resource. The physical resources at the moment on our physical resources are our offices, but as I tell you, we are working on a model to create autonomous manufacturing, and when we achieve to do it, we are gonna have factories which is gonna be part of our physical resources. Our intellectual resources are the patents we have. So we have some patents that we claimed because we developed technologies, like we achieved the first car to be able to use autonomous driving at 180 kilometers per hour. We achieved first car to do simultaneous translation with the surroundings of the car or with the passengers in the car, etc. And our material resources are the raw materials that we buy to use it in our prototypes, the office appliances like laptops, etc. These are our material resources, and this is the all resources we have. Let me expand the idea of financing of our firm. As I already mentioned, we sell data, we sell product, but we do not want to sell shares due to the reasons I previously mentioned. At the moment, I already invested $10 million, but I'm going to invest more if needed. And we made agreements with several companies, including Daimler AG, which Mercedes-Benz is a subsidiary of. So they are paying us money so that we focus on electric models of Mercedes more than the other models, so that they can implement our technology first, but this does not mean the other companies will not be able to implement new technologies. They just want to be the first one to implement it, so they pay money to us. We are gonna use this modeling in the future with different companies, like for instance, if a company pays money, another company we are gonna compare how much each company pays, so we are gonna put a lining structure, like the one that paid the most money will be first to implement, the one to pay second most amount will be able to implement it in the second place, etc. We never took loans from banks or similar foundations because we do not face the reimbursement process. We don't want to pay interest, and we don't want to depend on economical changes. Rather, we want to depend on our own growth, our own innovation, our own products, and the revenue we generate. But in the future, as I said, if money needed, I will invest into the company. Let me talk about our market penetration, the product development, market development, and diversification. The product development, basically, we are investing in research and development to develop new products or services, catering to the existing market. Apart from that, we have strategic partnership with other firms like Mercedes-Benz, so that we are going to access their distribution channels or their brands and to understand how Mercedes designed their cars in a better aspect by getting know-how from them, so that we can in the future do tailored products for each brand. For the market development, as I already explained, we established some products and services, and we started with targeting regionally. But now we are taking it to the global aspect, and we are targeting the foreign market. We are aiming to expand internationally. In terms of diversification, we are using the data we gather from the CanX product to create new services and to improve our product. So we hadn't decided for a name, but let's say CanX2 or something else in terms of naming will be better thanks to the data we gathered. Apart from the product, we already established 2 services I already mentioned, and we are planning to establish more services based on the data. And our idea of connecting cars is also based on the data. the safety idea of our product, helping maintenance shops through the data, or let me announce our second product. I mentioned the tailored design for brands. I already mentioned customization for drivers. Okay, these are at hand, but there is another idea we have. Forget the brands, forget the drivers. We have cars that are being used in different sectors. There are taxis, there are trucks that carry logistics, and their expectations and their needs are different. So as we generate money, we apply the same process that we applied for personal used cars to trucks, to taxis, to buses, to gather data first and create a version of CanX for them so that we will have their needs met. Apart from that, let me explain our product's investment growth rates. I'm using McKinsey matrix to make the calculations if someone wonders how I did this. So the factors that I listed here is growth rate, market size, industry profitability, and the competition rate. So for our main product, the CanX, the artificial intelligence technology implemented thanks to real-time cameras, sensors, voice collectors, etc. In terms of industry attractiveness, we have placed weights thanks to the data we have collected already, and the weight we assigned for growth rate is 3, for profitability is 5, and for market size is 2. And we rated these factors. The growth rate was rated 8, the profitability was rated 10, and the market size was rated 7. So weighted amounts for growth rate is 24, for profitability is 50, and for market size is 14. The sum of all of which is 88. So in terms of the McKinsey matrix, that we should invest more into this to expect more growth. And we are at a strong phase and a high phase in terms of strength of business units and industry attractiveness relatively. I can talk about all of the parts like our data services in terms of industry attractiveness, but I'm gonna tell you this. The total is, I think you know how I'm doing this calculation, is 70. So, okay, we should also invest and we should also expect growth as well, but not as much as we should do from our main product. This could also be due to the fact that our data services are based on the main product, so if we are able to grow with that, data services will benefit from it as well. In terms of competitive strength, we use the same process. We have growth rate, profitability, the brand reputation, and customer service as factors to be listed. And we first assign weights to that factors, then rate the factors. And by multiplying each number with the another one, the rate and the weight, we have the weighted amounts. And for the main product, the number is 96. For the data services, the number is 98. So it seems that in competitive strength wise, we should be focused in both of our firm's abilities, both the product and also the service. The reason is that, okay, we have a product that generates revenue and that collects the data, but those who buy our data is a much wider population. Hence, we can use that population to generate more money by applying lower profit margins but expecting high turnover rates. Apart from that, we can use that money to invest into our research and development on the product and on the models that we process the data, so we can have better models designed to process our data and to achieve more. So let me talk about our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strength, we are a pioneer in the field, and cars is a big industry, the automobiles. We already have achieved agreements with big companies that I only can now talk about Mercedes-Benz, but we have 3 more agreements that we will announce in the future. We spend too much money on research and development, and we use the information we gather from the research and development phase in our products and services so that we are always innovative. And we use the pricing for our benefit. We are not focusing on applying high profit margins, yet reaching out to more people by making our product and services affordable. Our weakness is that we are competing with American companies, and I already talked about the reasons in the previous section. And most of the automobile manufacturers are now creating their own research and development sections in terms of artificial intelligence. So in the future, they might come up with something else that they want to implement into their car. So we have to be able to find a way to compete with them so that they will choose our product over what they come across in their research and development part of the firm. And each country has a different structure. This is another weakness that we have, because we started to target regions, yet when we became a global market player, now we are facing some problems or obstacles that we want to overcome, and this is our weakness. The opportunity we have is that we are a company focused on the safety of the passengers, drivers, and pedestrians, basically all the livings around or in the car. We market our product by being a tailored product that offers solutions for everyone in a different way. And we are benefiting from big data in our services, and we are aiming to connect cars. If we are able to connect the cars, we can achieve much more. Like, we can have 0 accident rate. If we can connect every car on the road, we can achieve much lower time spans for passengers to reach from point A to B, because we will be able to estimate the risks and everything else in a much better way. And the threat is that we have new competitors in the field, that artificial intelligence is being a new field. We are expecting more new competitors in the future, and the country's laws and regulations are changing regarding the artificial intelligence and car manufacturing or tax on the cars, etc. This is a threat because now we have to evaluate each country according to its own condition. And we are developing a product for manufacturers, so when they change their strategies in terms of production, we have to be able to implement our product with their new policy or strategy. So we have to be flexible, which is a threat, because being flexible is good, but being that flexible to be able to dance with every manufacturer might be hard in the future. So let me talk about the threats of new entrants. Okay, there is a threat because people are entering into the artificial intelligence market, and some of them are aiming the car technology, but we are a pioneer, so we have an advantage. We have data that we are working with big manufacturers, and we had achieved signing agreements with 3-4 big manufacturers that does luxury cars, so that they will implement our products when they are released first, and we will use their know-how and their idea or culture in terms of automobile manufacturing, and this will be our benefit when new entrants happen to the market or to the industry. The bargaining power of suppliers is a bit high because we basically buy raw materials or hardware from our suppliers, but we need good products. We need products that can satisfy our needs, so we do not have a wide margin of suppliers. That's why we are working on a research process to have our autonomous production line implemented at China first, and then in another country, and then all around the world, so that we overcome their bargaining power. Bargaining power of buyers is not that high because we are a pioneer. By what we offer, we are a pioneer. So we don't want to sell at a high price tag, as I already mentioned a lot during my speech. We want to make it affordable, so they don't have a much of bargaining power. Trust of substitute product is not that high. I mean, okay, there are products that do similar things, but there is not a product that can do everything we do. And as I said, we are always focused on investing in research and development, making more innovations, developing a better product with more features and options. And if someone is able to do something that can do everything we are able to do at the point and more, then we might have a threat regarding the substitute product, but at the point there is none. Our pricing tag is another reason for that. The rivalry among the existing competitors, of course there is rivalry in United States because of the structure and the technology, etc. But if we look at the global aspect, we are getting to a point where we are gonna have the highest market share because we are offering the Canex a technology that use sensors, real-time cameras, voice collectors implemented in a car with artificial intelligence software to offer autonomous driving at high rates in terms of kilometers, allowing drivers to customize the car according to their wishes and needs, being able to talk with the car to ask for the weather, etc., or to operate the car. And we are basically doing this for the manufacturers and the models that are already on the road. So we are a company that acts as a whole in this artificial intelligence car technologies. So we are apart from being the pioneer, are also the one who is leading the industry. Let me talk about our market segmentation. So demographically, we basically started with the developed regions because we wanted to target people that are already aware of what the artificial intelligence is and that can afford the product. But now we are also targeting developing markets by creating awareness, by making our product more applicable for the people of those countries. And in the future, we want to be able to sell to each country that has a car on the road. We do not have an age expectation because, as I said, there are benefits of our car for old people and for young people as well, for women and for men as well. Geographically, as I already said, now currently we are acting in the developed and developing countries, but we want to get into all around the world. I think, I just remembered, in 186 countries, among 186 countries, we are already selling our product to 100 countries, and we want to be able to sell to the whole of them. In terms of psychological aspect of market segmentation, we have different aspects. Those who look out for safety, those who look out for adrenaline, those who look out for technology in a car, those who look out for tailored or special experiments. So we have different targets. And behavioral wise, we, considering our features and options, target the people that look driving a car as something fun, that look driving a car as something tiring, that look driving a car as something that defines themselves, and that look driving a car is hard for them, yet wants not to use public transportation or taxis. So these are the people we target in summary. As I already mentioned, our target market is developed and developing countries, but in the future, in a couple of years, we are going to target the global. Our positioning is having a low price and a high quality so that people can afford and we can raise a brand image. Our product class is an unsold goods because people are not aware of our product that much. We just established our company in 2018. We just established our first product, Can X, on January 2020. So we have to work on our brand imaging and making our product a bit more known than in the future, hopefully a well-known product. So what is the 5 level of our product? The core benefit of our product is offering safety, customization, ability to people, and apart from these, a concept car that can do many things at once. The generic product is our services and the beta version of CanX, because our product was first known for its autonomous driving function, and this was in the beta version. And later on, we announced the other features, but as I already said, we started with the autonomous driving. We are known for that, for the beta version of our product that we tested with people. We did not sell that product. But as people use our product and we established upgrades on our product, a generic product might change. The service-wise, our generic product is not available yet because we did not sell it to anyone. I mean, we sold it to people, but they hadn't been operating on it for a long time, so it's a bit early to talk about it. Expected product is having a car which is like in the Transformers movie, a car that can do things, that can transform itself into many more different things, like something that can drive itself, something that is an electric car but that can make a sound like a supercar, which is another function of our upgrade on CanX that we are going to announce next month. This is the expected product. The potential product is I'm gonna talk about after I talk about the augmented product. The extra features, like the sound feature I already tell, or we have a service, like if you buy this product, you can go to a free maintenance shop that works with us as a distributor or as a partner when something happens, or when you buy our product you are gonna get special insurance offers, etc. This is the augmented product. And the potential product, we are working on several things because apart from the augmentations that I already mentioned that we are working on, we want to surprise our customers more. For instance, like reading them books while they drive, telling them where to go for a specific reason, or for our new product line, like for sectoral version of Canax, like for taxi drivers, tell them where the population is located at most, and by basically estimating those who have the capacity or who has the financial capacity, ability to pay money to rent a taxi to get from point A to B rather than using public transportation. These are our potential products. I already mentioned many potential products during my speech, so I'm not gonna get into those once again. In terms of Boston Consulting Group matrix, we are a question mark because our relative market share is now low, but the market growth rate in artificial intelligence car technologies is high, and considering that in 2 years we already made partnership with 4 companies is a good sign for us. We are using pricing on purpose because we want to increase loyalty of our customers. We want to reach to more population, more people, so that we can collect more data, and in the future we have more profitability. So we are aiming on long-term profitability rather than just generating money at the beginning. Our first aim is to reach people and innovate all the time. Our pricing policy is, as I already mentioned through my whole speech, making our price tag as much as affordable. And for the pricing strategy, we need money for research and development, and also we need to grow in terms of segmenting our new products and our new services. So as I already said, I'm ready to make more investments, but the profit margin we apply to our pricing tag for the time being seems enough for these purposes. In terms of promotion mix, we are using public relations, advertising, and direct marketing. Advertisement wise, we do not use traditional or conventional advertisements, but we buy information from insurance companies. When someone has an accident that is not a small accident like having a small crash or something, but a huge one that is a severe one or a bad one, we reach them and we tell about our safety features, etc. Or we buy, in the countries where possible, information from the government regarding the family amounts, to say to those families that has many people in it, like 5, 6, 7 people, that they can buy one car and they can customize it according to needs of each person in the family. This is our direct marketing phase. In terms of using this direct marketing, when someone buys our car and benefits from its features, like for instance, when we apply simultaneous translation, our car's feature got on the news, and this was our advertisement. This is how we advertise our cars, not using the conventional methods like television, radio, etc., but using the news and word of mouth. And in terms of public relations, we always aim to satisfy our customers, satisfy our partners, and work for the betterment of our firm. Apart from that, we hold events with the public, with the industry pioneers in terms of automobile, in terms of maintenance, in terms of other aspects and stuff. And apart from that, we hold regional events with our possible and existing customers to enlarge our public relations. Finally, let me talk about our distribution strategies. We directly distribute to the manufacturers, as I already say. The core services or the maintenance shops that we find successful are another points that we distribute to. And we choose companies that has large vehicle fleets all around the countries that we operate in, because if we achieve to reach to them, then those who drive those cars are getting used to our product, and if our product is available for the model of the car that they use in their personal time, most of them choose to buy it. A research proven that to us, so that's why we started to offer a special discount to those. Our firm, both the service products and our product connects for the cars in terms of in-product life cycle is an introduction phase, because these are new products that or new services that we are offering to the people, and we have a long way to go for it. But I would like to tell all of you that I made this presentation for, by using the knowledge we have, by using the team effort we have, we are gonna take this from the introduction phase into a place where growth is gonna be our motto and lifestyle. Thank you all for listening to me, and